Welcome, listeners, to Hindsight, where we see bad and interesting situations that can be avoided by some common sense. But sometimes situations are just unavoidable, and certain measures are needed for safety.
Oh, yeah, folks, we're back. I know it's been a long time, but we're here nonetheless, ready to give you these cases and do what we've been doing. For those who've been, with us since the beginning, thanks for your loyalty and support. We're here to chop it up. And of course, we're here with Mr. Suave. How are you doing?
Suave here. How everybody doing? Suave and Suavettes, everybody. Going on, beat physicist, special guest Kiki. I'm gonna stop right there.
Oh
We're
my
not gonna
God.
do that. So that's the special guest. I'll let beat physicist continue introducing the special guest. No shiggy challenge here, folks.
All right. Thanks, I think. Yes, we got a special guest co-host today by the name of Kiki, who's going to be giving us a female perspective on the cases we're going to be going into today. So, Kiki, thanks for, sitting in with us today. How are
Hi,
you doing
guys.
today?
How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Chilling. How you doing, Kiki?
Doing good, doing good.
All right, well, let's get into it. The first case happened in Tremont, or on Tremont Avenue in the Bronx. You know how the young kids may say the BX is getting it in. Well, the BX certainly was getting it in when these two gunmen allegedly ran into an apartment and robbed two ladies at gunpoint. Robbing them, they tied them up with duct tape, stole allegedly Android phone and maybe some other items. It's not clear from the news exactly what was taken. They exit the apartment, the getaway car. The video surveillance shows them walking down the street. I'm not sure if this is before or after the alleged robbery took place. But afterwards, they enter into a getaway car. The camera caught that they were in a car that had Pennsylvania plates, Pennsylvania license plates to be exact. It's looking like these gentlemen are going to be caught very soon by the authorities. But let's talk about it. Suave, as I like to say, go in.
Oh man. So got I was gonna say if we want to do ladies first, like we done last time, but I know Kiki might be a little shy. Unless you want to take over, I'll pause for a second. If
It's
not,
fine.
I'll just break the ice so you can get warmed up. Is that you want me to do that instead?
It doesn't matter to me. It's fine. I can start talking about it. I mean, for me, I feel like this was just like the dumbest crime. Like you don't
Well, let
even.
me pause you one sec before you get your opinions out. Since we all going to let ladies go first, I'm just going to let listeners know this is our views and our views alone. Anything you hear, we say, it's just our opinions. So don't go around saying hindsight got you beat up, hindsight got me in my feelings, hindsight got me in the Me Too movement, hindsight got me whatever. It's entertainment purposes only. Might have some facts and some nuggets in there. Entertainment purposes only. Ladies, here's Kiki.
Well, like I said, for me, it's like the dumbest crime. Like if you're gonna do a crime, think it out. Like think the whole thing through. Not to say that I'm condoning, like it's all good and gravy what they're doing, but it's like there's cameras around. So you need to tell me that you didn't know there were cameras before you got to this person's place. And it seems to me like it's kind of suspicious because it's like you must have scoped it out to pick this particular, location with these two females at this time, like early in the afternoon to do this. Like this is the dumbest thing ever. And you're caught on camera. They got your face. They got your license plate. You didn't even get anything. There's no cash, no nothing. You just got like this little stupid phone. For what? The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. But looking on the other side of it, as a female, that is the scariest thing. Like I'm like, wow, at 1:45 in the afternoon in broad daylight, these dudes just gonna knock down their door and just duct tape me. For me, it's just like, wow. It puts things into perspective as to like how, I don't know, how feeble I feel being a woman, I mean, of course, well, I'm just saying that for me because it's not like I've taken any self-defense classes or anything. And every time I hear these stories, I keep saying, oh, I got to take these classes. I got to do this. I got to learn how to fight. I got to do all that. But then nothing ever happens. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, wow, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Now, I will say, just to just gonna rebound off what Kiki said. We don't know these females' stature. We don't know their background. We don't know anything, right? So, I mean, these dudes, the video was released and you just see two dudes on one side of the street, another dude over there, and then dudes in the truck, right? So these, I guess we could say these are the alleged individuals who did the crime. Because we actually don't see them doing anything. These are just the ones that are alleged. Okay. But these dudes look like, I mean, just from the video, they look like they're, I don't know, between 5'10" and 6'1", got some decent weight on them. And they're not saying, like I said, we don't know the size of the females, but naturally men can overpower females. Not to say it's going to happen every time, especially if you are skilled. We always talk in a lot of podcasts, self-defense classes, just on knowing some of the basic eye gouges, groin strikes, throat strikes, things like that can help. But these guys came in and they were armed. So a lot of those things, I hate to say that, 3 dudes with guns and 2 females, really, I don't care if it was just 2 anybody. It's almost hard not to comply at that point. She said a good point. It looked like maybe it was staked out. So, maybe they knew them or knew somebody who knew them. This could have been set up through a friend of a friend, or maybe they thought they were vulnerable. Maybe they didn't even think they were home at that time, but they said, well, they're home. We got to do what we got to do. The hell with it. We already went this far. We're going to tie them up, bound and gag, and that puts you in a whole nother statute when we were doing our pre-show of now you're going to get hit and charged for kidnapping. So what they'll probably do is hit you over the head for breaking and entering, aggravated assault and robbery with a deadly weapon. And if you're a felon, you're already hit on top of that. And they say, oh, well, you could plea out of the kidnapping if you take this plea deal, So they'll try to probably work some deal once they catch these old rats. Most likely, hopefully they do get caught. Some kind of justice is brought to them. But, just a situational awareness. I don't, it looks like it's an apartment. Living in New York, going through so many different type of apartment complexes. You can't really say you could tell somebody was coming to your door, It's kind of hard. So, and if they just kicked in the door, it's not like you was waiting. This ain't a movie, just sitting in the door with guns blasting, pointing at the door, waiting for intruders. That's not the case. It's not the situation. So I mean, I could say they got caught off guard, but I think anybody, whether it was males or a room full of Buddhist monks who know the Shaolin monks, they would have been caught off guard, So I don't think just because it's females, it's a lesser thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. It doesn't matter if you're female or male. They have guns. What you going to do at that point? 3 dudes with guns. There's nothing nobody could have done, honestly, if you really sit back and think about it.
Well, I'm not going to say there's nothing because we don't know exactly what transpired. Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're not the brightest of individuals because they got caught on camera and so did the car. Whether the car was stolen or not, their faces, especially the 2 dudes on the one video feed, their faces were pretty clear. And I'm pretty sure somebody seen them or know them, so they might get identified pretty quickly. I'm just thinking, like, did all of them tie them up? How good did they tie them up? Did they all put their guns down to tie them up? Was there a window of opportunity where you could have grabbed it and, that fight or flight reached in, you could have grabbed the gun, start shooting? But then who knows if the gun was even loaded or not? You don't know.
Nah, it's too dangerous.
It's dangerous, but I'll put in perspective, what if there were kids in the house? They don't say nothing about the kids. The story is still really vague, and all the news avenues we could find from Instagram feeds that had it, some local New York papers, small New York papers that had it. There's so limited information right now that, we just don't know enough details about the case yet. So I'm just trying to think of scenarios of somebody has to tie these females up. So the gun had to be holstered. I'm pretty sure they didn't have a holster. They just used their pants. But I'll say they put it in the inseam or they put it on the table. That gun had to go down for these females to be tied up. And if there was 3, maybe 1 had the gun on them, 2 tied them up. I don't know if I might have took a chance because for me, well, I'm not a female, so I can't speak for a female, but I would just assume if a female see 3 dudes busting in, they got guns blazing, they tying you up, they're probably going to assume they're going to rape you or take you with them to rape you later, or how heavy this human trafficking market is. You could have just been sold to the highest bidder overseas and never heard from again, missing person. I don't know. I don't know, man. Sum it up. I want to say be aware of surroundings. I think it was me. I think somewhere down, it might have been a little more of an inside job. Maybe a friend of a friend. Maybe they thought they had something in there that they liked, so they thought it was there, and then they couldn't find it, so they just left with an Android phone. And they didn't even say it was like the newest Android phone. They just said an Android phone, so it makes it even worse. So it's like you put yourself at risk. You're going to get hit with all these charges when you get caught. And these dudes don't seem very bright. So I know they're going to flip on, all 3 probably going to flip on each other. NYPD, do your thing. Go on, catch these rat bastards. And I'm just glad these people are safe for now. B physicists, Kiki, all you.
Yeah, for me, like just like I said, being a woman and just chilling. If I was just thinking about it, and from my perspective, I'm just chilling in my crib, doing whatever, and then somebody just bangs in the door, 3 dudes, 3 guns. For me, it's impossible. What am I gonna do? It's totally impossible. It makes me feel like, wow. You know how they make those things, those gadgets for like older people, that if they fall or something, they can just press a button or something like that. It makes you feel like
Life alert.
Yeah. So let's say that they have some type of version for females who feel a certain way, or who may feel kind of vulnerable, or who live alone or something like that, and they make it in a nice bracelet or something. So like if something was to ever happen, boom, you got it right on, you could press it or something. I don't know. But that just made me think like, wow, in that circumstance, there was nothing that these 2 ladies could do. Like, I mean, I know, Suave, you said that, we don't know that there could have been different things that, that they could have done. But for me, from my perspective, it's like, wow, it's done. It's a wrap. 3 guns, 3 dudes, it's a wrap.
May I?
So, yeah, what I'm thinking is, Suave had touched on it a little bit. Could have been that these gentlemen were looking for something specific, very specific in the apartment, and they tied the ladies up. Maybe the very specific items belonged to a spouse or a boyfriend of the ladies, or somebody that they were associated with, that they got some information that the goods, so to speak, were at their apartment or whatever. They came in looking for it. This reminds me of that, in The Usual Suspects. Yeah, so what this reminds me of is, I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, The Usual Suspects, and towards the end of the movie, you hear him saying, you heard me, you dumb fuck, there's no coke. Huh? There's no coke. They're searching all over the ship. They can't find the coke. I'm not saying that that's what these guys were looking for. It could have been something, completely different, or even innocuous or whatever. But that's kind of what it's like. Okay, why, if it's an armed robbery, why tie them up unless you're looking for something very specific, which I suspect was the case, but I have no knowledge of course. Suave, what do you think?
May I interject? Now, I like to make light of all situations. Sometimes you just gotta find some humor in everything. And I know from our backgrounds, sometimes where we come from, each person views things differently. I know Kiki had said there was nothing these females could do. Nothing these females could do. I'm just thinking, I don't know what these females look like. I don't know if you know where I'm going with it, but you got 2 females and 3 dudes. I mean, I think, male brain, see females, if they would have kind of flirted a little bit, maybe started taking something off, or maybe start coming on to them, it could have been a diversion just so they can escape. But I'm almost positive maybe, they grab one of their things, or, just gave them a kiss. I don't know. Did anything. Think outside the box to give yourself an opportunity. Hell, I'd even say you could do a inverted, modified version of a Lorena Bobbitt. You say, let me go on and, now for the PG-13 listeners out here that we have, let me go on and put the banana and bite it off. The hell with them. Make him feel it. 'Cause I guarantee you he'll drop that gun and other guys probably won't even be thinking. Now, that's just me thinking outside the box on an extreme case, but I'm just saying, I think, that probably would have been the first scenario you could have done, but that could have been an option before you got tied up because all your hands still could have been free. I don't know, maybe you could have swiped one of their IDs while you was filling them up, and they ain't thinking about it because they thinking, oh man, I'm gonna rob them and get some buns out of this. I don't know.
Man, I feel like you're thinking along like it's a movie or something, Suave. Like, really? Like this?
No, I'm thinking real life.
Like...
real life. I'm thinking. Be physicist, am I wrong?
Wow.
I don't know.
Be physicist, am I wrong?
I'm gonna say.
Kiki, am I wrong?
Out of this.
Yes, you're wrong.
So you're gonna tell me
something like a dude. Like this, it's
Okay.
a very, very dangerous situation. Like people who are aware of guns and who know about guns, I don't think would take that risk. Having 3 dudes with 3 guns, that's too many people. Okay, if it was one dude with 1 gun, then just maybe.
Yo, one
these people
female
can
could
think
grab
along your
both
lines.
dudes.
But for 3 of them, nah, man, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
One female could grab both dudes right by their chest and say, "Come here," like Scorpion, and the other one could grab the other one like Sub-Zero and just give him a hug and freeze him, and he'd just be like, "Well, damn, we gonna make out good today."
Man, you funny. Suave, you're funny.
They might think you have Stockholm syndrome, and you just use that to manipulate your advantage. I mean, shit. Most dudes are dumb anyway. When it comes to that, they ain't even thinking. I'm just saying.
I hear where you're going with it. Like I said, I feel like, okay, it may sound more realistic if it was one guy with 1 gun. Okay, maybe, they would feel more comfortable in trying to go that route. Maybe it could just, it may work for one guy, but like I said, they're outnumbered, not only by strength with the guys, but with the guns. I think that'd be a dumb move because it's like you got to think about your life. I mean, 1 shot and that's it.
Exactly. 1 shot to get them into that moment where they are, not for movie purposes, but they could be releasing if they were in the act and they're so vulnerable, you got your time to escape. Cause I just say that because what if they would have raped these females anyway? They would have raped you and you would have had no control. But if you could have controlled it a little bit, you would be more susceptible to take advantage of them not thinking at all anyway, because they're just thinking with the other head. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's just a horrible situation
I'm just
all
saying
around.
It's an option that's outside the box. That's all I'm saying.
No, the what I just said about the whole technological part of it, where for females who may live alone and this and that, and they have some type of gadget or something that they walk around with, that seems more viable to me. That seems like something. That's something that people can actually work on, and actually, women buy it and try to help them to be more safe. You know what I mean? That's my take on it.
I think I'm done. I'm done with this. I think we've exhausted what we could with it. I'm waiting to see if Beat Physicist has anything to chime in at the end of what I said. I don't know. I just think he was in utter disbelief maybe and just stayed quiet. Or he just might ignore it altogether. So let's see.
Yeah, Suave, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, we can't all be ex-special forces or ex-clandestine officers or whatever. I mean, that takes a very, that type of skill the average person doesn't have, manipulation and this with a gun in your face.
Time out. Females manipulate men all the time. It's so easy. What are you talking about? It's so easy, especially when it comes to sex. Oh my God. You don't need to be special forces for that. None of us special forces, by the way. But it is, I think women just have that natural keen instinct to manipulate a man's mind when it comes to that area.
It's because y'all weak. It's not. Y'all give us that power. How about that?
Did you see? The female didn't deny. She just said the truth because we're weak.
Because you guys are weak when it comes to that.
See, that's the special forces right there, Beat Physicist. He said we're weak. That's the inner truth of the female. But just I know we're going off topic a little bit, but I'm just saying I think it would have worked.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I think we'll end it there. And thanks for riding with us, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Later.